You've probably lived through this. A nighttime walk, the air cooler, the silence broken only by crickets, and suddenly that feeling, a thin, almost invisible thread sticks to your face, your arm, your hair. Your first instinct is to shake everything off, rub your hands over your body, maybe even let out a quiet sound of disgust, and most of the time, you keep walking without looking back. But what you're about to discover is going to change the way you think about that moment for the rest of your life, because that thread you just destroyed wasn't a random accident of nature. It was a piece of engineering built in under an hour by a creature many of us were taught to fear and kill without a second thought. And what's left clinging to your clothes after that encounter might be more important than you realize. For years, you were told spiders are dangerous, that webs mean dirt, that the right move is to destroy everything with a broom. Today, you're going to understand why that belief is deeply mistaken. Here's the first shock. Most of the webs you run into at night in the backyard, between trees, or near streetlights didn't exist that morning. Many orb-weaving spider species, the ones that build the circular, symmetrical patterns we instantly recognize, tear down their own web every day and build a brand new one at dusk. That's not waste, that's strategy. The silk thread that sticks to your skin is in fact one of the strongest materials ever studied by science. Pound for pound, certain types of spider silk outperform steel in tensile strength. Engineers and molecular biologists have spent decades trying to replicate this substance in the lab without full success to this day. But the real plot twist isn't in the silk. It's in the reason these webs show up specifically at night. Most of the insects that serve as spider food are active during nighttime hours, drawn in by humidity, residual daytime heat, and in urban settings, artificial light. Spiders didn't pick this timing by accident. They synchronized their biology with prey behavior over millions of years of evolution. When you walk through a web at night, you haven't stumbled onto a positioning error. You've just walked through a trap placed with surgical precision at the exact point of highest capture probability, and that's why checking your clothes afterward matters. Not because some hidden danger is waiting to attack you, but because in tearing that structure apart, there's a small chance the spider itself, which was sitting at the center or edge of the web, got dragged along with the thread and is now somewhere on your clothes trying to get its bearings in a completely unfamiliar environment. In the overwhelming majority of cases, it's just as startled as you are, and its only goal is to escape, not to attack. To understand why this matters, we need to rewind a few hours before your encounter with the web. Picture dusk settling in. While most animals are getting ready to rest, a spider is just clocking in for its shift. It picks a strategic spot, usually between two fixed points like branches, wall corners, or power lines, and casts the first thread into the wind, letting the breeze carry it until it catches somewhere. That's the first brick of a structure that will expand outward in a spiral, thread by thread, with a precision no human could replicate without measuring instruments. In under 60 minutes, what was empty space becomes a fully functional network. And this is where the story starts to look like a genuine home security system. Think of your house, your backyard, as territory with multiple entry points for unwanted pests, disease-carrying mosquitoes, flies that contaminate food, small beetles that destroy crops. Every one of these potential invaders has one destiny when it crosses the wrong path at night. Researchers studying spider behavior have documented cases of spiders capturing prey significantly larger than their own body, including small lizards and, in rare instances, even bats that accidentally collide with especially large resilient webs built by tropical species. The process is fast and surgical. The vibration of the thread tips the spider off to the intruder's exact position. It moves with impressive speed, wraps the prey in silk threads, even stickier than the ones in the main structure, and neutralizes the threat before it has any chance to escape or damage the rest of the web. This behavior isn't gratuitous violence. It's population control. A single spider permanently settled in a garden can be responsible for eliminating hundreds of insects over the course of a single reproductive cycle. It functions as a silent cleanup crew, a bodyguard that never collects a paycheck and never takes a day off, and at the same time as an invisible architect, constantly redesigning its defensive structure to adapt to the flow of prey in the area. And the most fascinating part is that all of this vigilance happens exactly during the hours when humans are asleep and most vulnerable to mosquito bites, many of which carry serious diseases. While you rest, there's a network of 8-legged sentinels actively working to reduce the population of those insects around you. Now imagine the opposite scenario. A garden, a porch, a backyard completely free of spiders, whether from heavy pesticide use or from systematically destroying every web found. What ecologists observe in these environments is consistent and well documented. A significant increase in the population of insects that used to serve as prey. Without the natural control spiders provide, pests like mosquitoes, aphids, and small beetles reproduce unchecked by the main biological containment factor of that local ecosystem. That means more bites, higher risk of disease transmission, and in agricultural or gardening settings, a greater need for chemical intervention with all the environmental and financial costs that come with it. There's also a ripple effect that few people consider. Spiders serve as food for birds, small lizards, and other minor predators. By indiscriminately eliminating spiders from an environment, you're not just affecting insect control, you're removing an entire link from the local food chain, with consequences that ripple through that space's biodiversity, often silently and only noticeable years later. In other words, that instinctive fear, that automatic reflex to destroy the web and kill the spider that you've carried since childhood, comes with a real ecological cost, a cost most people never notice because it happens out of sight, in the small gears that keep the balance of the environment around you running. So let's recap. That web you accidentally walked through at night wasn't a wrong turn, and it wasn't a sign of dirt or neglect. It was a piece of natural engineering, built in record time, positioned with evolutionary intelligence to line up exactly with peak urban pest activity. And the spider that may have ended up on your clothes wasn't hunting you. It was probably just as disoriented as you were, trying to get back to the one place where it can do its job, silent guardian of the balance around you. Next time you feel that thin thread stick to your skin on a nighttime walk, it might be worth taking a second look before shaking it off in disgust. Checking your clothes calmly is still a smart, sensible thing to do, but doing it out of curiosity instead of anger changes the whole experience because you didn't interrupt a threat. You cross paths with one of the oldest, most efficient security systems nature has ever built. Next time you find a spider web in your backyard, think twice before destroying it. It might be doing, at that very moment, a job no pesticide could ever replicate. If this mystery changed the way you see these silent builders, hit like and subscribe to the channel. Every week we uncover a secret of nature that's been hiding right under your nose, waiting to be discovered.